So my name's Rosie and this is my first interview for Content Online and I'm here with Livvy K.
Hello, hello.
We're going to be talking about Mental Awareness Week and how your music is affecting mental awareness. So tell me, what do you hope to
Achieve with
achieve?
it. So I think originally I struggled with mental health myself.
Yeah.
Like 50% of that's the statistics now. It's like 50% of the world suffers with mental health.
That's right.
And so me personally, I have my own struggles, and for me, music has always been an outlet for me to express myself. So I had a journal, I was writing stuff, and I was thinking, do I want to put it out? It's quite a sensitive subject, and I thought, you know what, I don't know anybody else who's done a song that is strictly about mental health or anything like that, because it is quite, people don't want to talk about it because it's
it's a sensitive
subject, and
a lot of things mental health problems are caused by very sensitive subjects.
Exactly.
And
so I was like, I don't know how I feel about putting it out, because it's a personal thing for me as well. But when somebody told me, they were like, it could actually help people.
Yeah, because if you put something online, technology nowadays is such a big influencer, and if you put something online, that's there for a lot of people to see. So
it's like I did a mini documentary,
called
have you seen?
Yeah.
So the mini documentary is basically a whole different group of people, different ages, ethnicities, just showing that it affects everybody. It's not just teenagers, it's not just women, it's men, it's older people, it's people in their 80s that are still affected by mental health. It's not just a phase, is the word I'm trying to look for.
And that documentary, there's a song in the background. Was that?
Yeah, so the instrumental in the background for the mini documentary, it's my song Broken, which I released on World Mental Health Day, which is the 10th of October.
Yeah. What inspired you to write that? What inspired the specific words?
So my struggle with mental health was kind of isolation. Music industry is really difficult. Anybody who's in the music industry knows that it's one of the hardest industries to be in. Anything creative is really, really difficult. And obviously that's why everyone creative tends to be on the spectrum. So especially with mental health and stuff like that, I just felt that it could potentially help people, and that kind of superseded the fact that I was struggling, because I thought, if somebody else, if I had something that you could listen to that would help you, because I didn't necessarily find that for myself. Music was always there, but it's sometimes that isn't enough. As much as I love music, it's very, very different when you're in that kind of place. I'd listen to music, but it still doesn't change the fact of what's happening to me.
It just means,
it's like a drug. It does its job for a while, but it doesn't stop the whole issue. So I just thought, writing the song, I'd already written a poem, so I just thought that's how I write, and I'll turn it into a song, and hopefully put it out so that people, when they feel like that, can listen to the song and think, you know what, that's exactly how I'm feeling, and I don't feel alone. Because I think one of the things that you always hear people going, World Mental Health Day, you're not alone, but you do, you feel alone.
Yeah, because just because somebody's telling you
you don't feel alone,
it's
all you don't feel alone, everyone's suffering.
Yeah.
But when you're feeling like that, it's you do feel alone, and the whole song basically is called Broken, and it's about being, you are alone, you feel like you're alone when you're in that place. You're not, you've got you're surrounded by a group of really supportive people. But, it's just tapping into the fact that is actually how you feel, and that's the reality. When you're in that place, that's the reality of how you're feeling.
What were your inspirations to kind of go, hang on, I don't like that this is how mental health is being
portrayed?
Portrayed. So what inspired you to want to write a song to make
changes? If I'm completely honest, I didn't really think about it like that. It was kind of, I had the idea and I thought, oh, this will be really good if I could do the song, then do a documentary on the back of it to then show people. Not only can people listen to it, but they can go to the video and they can look at it and think, wow, like, oh my god, you know, like people are actually like suffering with the same thing. Like I can relate to that. So I think for me, what I wanted to achieve from the broken thing is basically not telling people that, you know, everyone suffers with it, because, you know, a lot of people do, but it's about you internally, you personally, and being able to think like, actually, you know, that's exactly how I feel, and you don't necessarily feel like you're the only one.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
really important, and well done, it's brilliant. And I just wanted to ask you about this amazing cover that I've heard on YouTube, the Taylor Swift and
yeah, and it was Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift and Lord. I did a mashup of her new song and then Royals.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Thank you
I
very
really
much.
got into it, I was trying to.
Yeah. I shot that in Vegas. I was literally just out there in June, and I go back. What day is it? It's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday?
No.
Wednesday, is it?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
No, it's Tuesday today.
Today's Monday.
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 No,
We don't know what day it is in here.
Monday today, Tuesday tomorrow.
So today is Monday.
Right.
On Wednesday, I go back to America and go back to the States. So I'll be doing a lot more like mashups and stuff like that. I'll be releasing another song on the 1st of November.
What's that called?
We're not sure which one we're going to release
Yeah.
yet, so we're still like trying to, because I've got quite a few songs, so we're just trying to figure out which one I want to put out at the minute. But yeah, got loads of new stuff coming up, and doing lots of gigs and stuff when I'm out there, shooting a video, stuff like that.
Have you been thinking about writing an album?
At the minute, I don't really think eventually, yeah, they'll probably all end up in an album.
Yeah.
But for me currently, I feel like singles is the way to go. This is just, you know, everyone's got their own opinions, but I think when you put an album out, that's like 7 songs, that's like a heavy piece of work to just go, there you go, do you know what I mean? Whereas if I like slowly drip, you know, a few songs throughout, like, what I'm doing, it keeps it current and it keeps people listening, because it's like there's a constant flow of new music,
Yeah.
rather than just a big
one
folder
yeah.
of just like 7 songs, do you know what I mean?
I agree with you on that one, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Let's see. What do you think you could change about the way young female artists like battle mental health and use their music as a way to, as an outlet and as a way to find common ground with other young females who are going through the same thing?
I think with mental health, the only really person who can help is you. Do you know what I mean? There's counselling and there's medication and there's all these other things, but the reality is, if you want to change how you're feeling, you have to actively do something. Whether that is music, whether that is drawing, whether that is playing basketball, you know, whatever that is, you've got to help yourself. You know, yeah, these other things may help along the way, but you've got to make that decision that you want that help. So that's you making a conscious decision, going, you know what, I can't just keep doing this every single day.
Yeah.
I've actually got to make a change, because if you don't, you're just gonna be stuck there.
In the same circle.
And it's like, you know, nobody enjoys that. Why would you want to be stuck there? But you've just got to make that decision, that's the really hard bit going, you know, because like we said, there is a stigma around mental health. It's like, you know, attention seeking, is it this, is it that? You know, it's how you feel. How you feel is how you feel. If you feel like you need help, then get help.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that. There's no like, you know, nobody's judging you for that. You've got to do everything for you. You know what I mean? It's like, you can look at it and go, oh, you know, it's extra money, or it's extra something, or, you know, I don't have time. Make time, because your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
Yeah, it is. That's
100%.
definitely as us as young people, a new generation, we need to change the stigma that's attached to mental health and change the way that we see it?
I think the only way to do that is social media,
Yeah.
which is part of the reason I thought, you know, with the video, like the video is now on like 35,000 views.
Oh really?
So that's like 35,000 people who've seen that, who now can look at that and go,
And that's
I
not
feel
just
the
in
same.
England, that's throughout the whole world as
Yeah.
well. Like because with certain things, obviously, like I think like things like language barriers and like obviously like an older person talking to a younger person, they wouldn't be on the same page with mental health. But music is a really good way to kind of
everybody listens to music.
Exactly.
Whether you love music or you don't, you hear music.
Everywhere you go.
If you're in the shops, you hear music. If you're in the car, your radio comes on, you hear music. Do you know what I mean?
It's a way to kind of get away from the real world
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah, it's anything creative is something where you're supposed to just disappear. You know, if you listen to music, you're in the music. If you're in the movies, you're watching the movie, you're not thinking about anything else. That's the whole reason for that. And life imitates art. Do you know what I mean? So if artistically you're pushing a vision that there's not a stigma with mental health, then everyone will subconsciously be like, you know what, it's fine, like it's okay to like feel like that. Because yeah, social media, like everybody in our age bracket now, you never see them not on social media. I do it. You know, I'll be sat on the bus, I'm on my phone. If I'm not on my phone, I'm just sat there
scrolling through Instagram, finding the weirdest videos.
Like, there's all
People
kinds
playing
of
with
stuff on social
slime,
media.
cutting up soap and ridiculous things like
Like
that.
satisfying them things. But yeah, I think if everybody really made a conscious effort to kind of eliminate the stigma about it.
The first thing you can do is raise awareness, because the more people that are aware, the more kind of like army really you've got to combat that. And it's not mental health that we're trying to combat, it's coping with it and finding coping strategies and getting better.
Because at the end of the day, that was one of the things that a lot of people say, you know, a lot of the marketing thing is this will help, you know, that this will like kind of stop your mental health. Like no, you're always going to have good days, you're always going to have bad days. It is what it is. Some days are bad, some days are worse than others. It's just how you cope with that. You've got to find something where there's a middle ground that you can go, okay, this is how I'm feeling. What can I do to help myself get out of this place? Or even if it's not get out of this place, you know, stay in the place if you can't get out, because it's really difficult. But in a place where it's safe. Do you know what I mean? A place where you can still feel down, but it's safe. That's the main thing. But I think especially with young people, social media is 100% the way to go, because it, you know, I'm guilty of it. Like I'll see things on Instagram and I'll be like, oh, I like the way she's dressed. I wish I could dress like that. Oh, her hair's amazing. I wish my makeup looked like that, or I wish my life looked like that. And for a while, like, it was toxic. So you've just got to have a look at who you're following, and this is just like a tip.
Social media is like your best friend and your worst enemy.
Exactly. I think you've got to follow the right amount of people in your industry, because like it's hard like seeing other artists or other radio presenters that are doing more. Do you know what I mean? Or they've got more followers. It's everything's statistic based now. Like it's all number based. Likes, followers, views. Like it's all statistics. And like I say, like talent isn't based on statistics. You know, so social media and online has made that a thing. So it's like, oh, she's more successful because she's got 60,000 followers. Or she's a better singer because she's got 1 million followers and the other girl's only got 50,000. Like, no, they're different in different ways. But it's hard to explain that to a young person who's only just really figuring out themselves, to try and explain that they're the same kind of person, they're the same talent, they've just both got they're in different parts of their life. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I've got a little cousin at the moment, she's just getting involved with social media and stuff, and she loves singing. Like, she really loves singing. She posts videos on Instagram of her singing with a piano. And she goes, oh, I'm just not good enough. There's this girl in my class that's done music, piano lessons for 7 years and I'm just not good as good as her. And I said, well, you're still young, you're learning, your brain's developing. And she's comparing herself at 11 years old to people in her class who she's like,
yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly, it
it's
blows
hard
my mind.
growing up in that
I
environment.
teach kids. That occasionally I'll teach dance or I'll teach singing or acting. Again, anything creative. And I've had some kids come up to me and go, I don't want to do it. I don't think it's good enough. Mine wasn't as good as theirs. And I'm like, how old are you? Like, oh my god, that's mad. Like, how are you comparing yourself to someone like, these kids are like 6?
Exactly.
And I'm like, I can't understand, like at 6, like, I wasn't like that, do you know what I mean? At 6 I was just out playing, I was living my life, doing what I was doing.
You're your worst critic, yourself, and growing up it's getting worse. Anyway, let's find out about you and what you're doing and what you've got coming up and what's inspired you to do music.
So yeah, I've only really been focusing on music for about 2 years.
Oh really?
Yeah, I started off as a dancer.
Yeah.
I was dancing for like 6 or 7 years. Obviously dance, they did music lessons, singing lessons, musical theatre, all that stuff. So I eventually went into doing some singing lessons, then went to do some acting lessons, and then did some modelling work. So yeah, I was just kind of fell into everything creative eventually, and then kind of found my lane in music and was like, wow, like the amount of stuff I can do with music is pretty crazy.
Did you have any like confidence issues? Because I know that there's lots of aspiring artists and dancers and actors like yourself, and that are really struggling with like having faith in themselves and the confidence and the anxiety of getting in front of a camera and audience and doing it.
Again, it's all statistic based. That's why there's an issue with that, and it's all, again, what you see on social media. You know, the only reason there's that comparison is because they see everything. On social media, you see everything. Like, when you're, let's think about 20 years, you know, I'm 18, so I can't, like, I understand what happened back then. Obviously, I wasn't there, but you can't see, like, if you're, let's say you're a musician and I'm a musician, and you're out in the industry and you've been in the industry for 6 years, the only time I'd really know much about you or see pictures of stuff you're doing is if I actually meet you. You know, like, I could follow you, I could see mutual friends, to see how many people follow you, what you're doing, where your music is, how you got into it. It's all on the internet, it's all on social media. You know, that's the issue, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, nowadays it is all statistics.
Can't say that word, statistics. But yeah, I think it is. It's just unfortunately it's going to be very, very difficult to stop the power of social media because it's already in play. You know, right. I don't think you're ever going to stop social media, and I don't think it's ever going to be a thing where someone just goes no, because it's not. It's going to carry on.
Breaks or something.
Yeah, it's going to carry on, but there's got to be, rather than it all being there's got to be more stuff that's positive.
Yeah.
You know, like on my Instagram, I follow about 30 accounts that are all self-help accounts. You know, like quotes of the day, affirmations, all different stuff. So in my feed, I'm not only seeing things that I need to know about my industry and what people are doing in my industry, but I'm also seeing occasionally, like every 4 posts, I'll see, you know, today's going to be a good day. Scroll down, see some more pictures, or and then another post will come up and it'll say you are good enough. You know, as a tip, like I only found this out, you know, through Google and stuff and how to help myself and stuff like that. I think as a tip, if you can go through your followers, and if there's that one person that you're always seeing that you're always comparing yourself, just unfollow them.
Just unfollow them, yeah, you're right.
Like, they're not going to miss your follow, they'll be okay. Like, if they're that toxic to you and you keep comparing yourself to them, until you've got enough confidence in yourself to then learn from what they're doing, that's the massive thing. You cannot learn from what they are doing and it's toxic, unfollow them. If what they're doing is inspiring to you and it's not affecting you because you've got the confidence in yourself to then apply what they're doing to yourself to better yourself, then just don't follow them until you can do that, because otherwise it's just toxic.
How did you find, like, finding yourself in your own originality as an artist and kind of being different? Because there's very, like, I think personally, this is something I think about a lot, as in, like, because I do a little bit of singing sometimes. As like, I'd love to be an artist, I'd love to do that, but I'm just at the beginning of my journey kind of in that department. But I find, like, you only really see like one person doing one thing. Like, it's hard to have like lots of different people doing the same thing on their own. So like, say there's a girl like called Livvy K,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, something similar, yeah.
And she's like similar to you. What makes you different from her? What makes you stand out? What do you think makes you stand out?
I think, especially in this industry, it's like, yeah, you've got to have something that people like latch onto and recognise you by, and I think your art's always got to be like at the forefront, especially when you're doing, you know, something that you're passionate about. But like you say, like, you're only starting off. Like, everybody's only starting off. Like, yeah, they could be 6 years in, but that doesn't mean that they can't learn from somebody who's 7 years in. You never actually stop learning.
And that doesn't even mean to say you can't learn something from someone who's 6 months in.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's
like,
got something.
I just started last week. Well, I may have met somebody who's said something that could be of interest to you or could help you then further yourself as an artist. You know what I mean? You're always continuously meeting new people if you're out there, which you should be. If you're trying to be an artist, you should be in all these different places. Yeah. Which is hard, because it's like, you know, you've got other things that you're doing and stuff like that. But if your focus really is, you know, your creative stuff that you're trying to push, then I think it's hard to say what makes you stand out. But at the end of the day, if you've got that quality, you don't need to put a thing on it. You can just tell, you know, like, there's
a passion. Like,
there's something about passion and there's something about hard work. Yeah. So I think if you can do that, and at the end of the day, unfortunately, it doesn't matter really now how good you are as a singer. You know, record labels are looking at numbers, statistics. And so yeah, I think they're just, it's like, it is hard, because if a record label looked at me, I've got like 2,700 followers, whereas if a girl's got the you know, the kind of same vibe as me, but she may not be as good of a singer, but she's got 2 million followers, if they invest money, they're guaranteed to get money back on the other girl.
Each follower, each view means money.
Yeah, and if half of her followers go and buy the song, that's £1 million. If she got 2 million followers, it's straight money. Why would they invest in somebody who's got 2,700? They'd have to see potential, and it's business at the end of the day, so they have to look at statistics. So unless, like, you've just got to be out there and be in the right place at the right time for somebody to see your potential. And
it's important not to give up before somebody's seen your potential.
Exactly.
You never know when it's going to happen.
Lizzo, she released, I can't remember what song it was, but I seen a post about it on social media. And it was like, she put the song out 3 years ago, and it's just been chilling. It's been released for 3 years, and it's only now just gone to the charts. Wow, and she was in like number 10. It's been out for 3 years.
You never know what, where.
She's in her mid-20s. Sia, she was, I think, early 30s when she first broke into the music industry.
Yeah, and she's had a lot of problems with like addiction and mental health as well. Sia. I like Sia, she's brilliant.
She really does. But yeah, she only really broke into the industry later on. Yeah. So everyone goes, she's too old now. Can't be in the music, she's too old. Like, no, you're never too old to be in any industry. You know, if it's something you're passionate about and you're willing to work for it and put the hours in, then you can do it. Like, that's the thing. I think it is quite difficult for some people to say, like, I'm gonna put everything into it, because, you know, you might have kids that you need to look after and stuff like that. But if you really want to do something, nothing's going to stand in your way. My mum always says to me, get out your own way. Because like, in a way, you're the only person in your own way. Everyone struggles with that though. Everybody, you know, like, it's not just you, like, that stands in your own way, everybody stands in their own way sometimes in their life, if it's not all the time. But you've just got to see the vision rather than see the circumstances. You just got to think about that rather than what's going on. So that's the main thing.
Right, we haven't got much time left, but
You said it fly, didn't you?
Yeah.
There it was, gone.
we had a nice little chat, haven't we?
Check on the studio track.
On this.
No. That's about the studio track.
What?
The track they were doing on studio.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, about the track that you're doing.
Yes.
Tell us about that then.
So we just recorded that,
Yeah.
like literally, I don't know, like
With
20 minutes ago.
Big Conde Records.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're doing a song, and they're having about 10 artists on it. So I just wrote about 4 bars.
Yeah.
Just a few little lines that I just came up with like just now. And there's going to be a few more people, like I said, around 10. Just making a song about mental health. So that'll be going on YouTube and
When's
on
that
the
coming
internet.
out?
I'm not too sure actually. I think they've got a few other ones to do. But yeah, they should be really good, and obviously
Yes.
that'll help raise awareness. So that's what we're here for.
Lovely. Is there anything else that's coming out soon?
No, just the song Broken, which is already out, which I released. I would love for people to go and listen to that. If you want to listen to it, at Livvy K is my Instagram. The link's in the bio. And Livvy K on YouTube. The mini documentary's on there.
Yeah,
Take
it's
a
really
watch.
interesting. Like, I recommend it.
It's only 5 minutes, and because I didn't want it to go on for 30 or 15.
Yeah.
Because
It's just enough to catch someone's
it's
attention.
just enough, and especially like the attention span of me and loads of people my age. Like if there's a video and it's a guy like doing something and the video's 4 minutes long, I go from 10 seconds in, just 10 seconds before the end, because I'm like, don't need to see all that bit in the middle. But
We're all guilty of it.
but 5 minutes, just watch the whole thing and just really get yourself into it and just watch it, because that is the main reason I did it. Not because I'm donating all proceeds from the video, from the song, from anything I'm doing, merchandise or anything like that. 100% of the proceeds are going to Mind charity and Men Unite, which is a charity that just focuses on men with mental health. So Mind will be the Lancashire one and the Staffordshire one, because they're local to where I live. But yeah, so all proceeds are going to both them charities. So yeah, all the views and stuff, all the Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff, all the income I get from that is going straight to charity.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to have to finish up, I think. But I've had a lovely time.
Thank you very much.
It's been really nice to meet you.
Very well done for
Livvy
your
K.
first interview.
My first interview.
Round of applause.
I've enjoyed it. My
Thank you
name's
very much.
Rosie, and
She's still talking.
my name's Rosie, and this has been Condor Online, and this has been Livvy K, and we're done.
We are done. Over and out.
Over and out.
Alright.